Fortunately, my school color, I don't know how this happened to work out, but every school I ever worked in, school colors were blue. So this will work for both Blaine and Champlain Park. Thank goodness they only give you about 2 weeks warning for something like this, because your brain starts to go into overdrive and you start to think about all the things you would want to say. First of all, I'd like to thank Ross and the Hall of Fame Committee and Jim. Did Jim get down okay? I'm from a family of 4 kids, and I am substantially older than the other 3. And I recall, probably when I was about 12, rearranging kind of moving the furniture around in the living room and telling my 4-year-old sister, who was the oldest of the 3, that she was going to play fullback. And then I told my second sister, who was, she would be 3 years old at this point, and I thought she was the fastest, she was going to play left halfback. Because I even knew at that age that if you ran the wing T offense, you put your best running back at left halfback. And then I told my 2-year-old brother, James, who didn't know what was going on anyway, I just said, you're going to play right halfback, and you're going to block somebody right over there. And then we started to run plays. And I even remember we named the plays the lion, the tiger, the bear, easy things like that. And I don't know if my mom appreciated any of that, but I think I always wanted to be a coach. I really didn't know it at the time. Speaking of my sisters and brother, it seems like in my family probably the women, the girls, turned out to be the better athletes. I was never the kind of athlete who participated in the state meet, but I had a lot of enthusiasm. I was passionate. But for example, my sister Bobby, unfortunately, she just missed the high school sports era, but she ran on the Bethel College track team and was on their record-setting 4x800 relay team that ran in the national meet. My 2 daughters, Sarah and Jennifer, both ran on Anoka's track team, and I was very proud of that fact. In fact, Jennifer, who is down there, would you raise your hand?
Jennifer.
Was part of Anoka's 4x400 relay team that ran at the state meet, and Anoka had a tradition of many years of great 4x400 relay teams, and I was so proud of that fact. My other daughter, Sarah, lives in Knoxville, Tennessee, unable to be here today, but she was also part of that Anoka track team. I have to mention my dad, who I thought might make it here today. My dad is 92 and had a stroke a number of years ago and doesn't move around very much, unable to speak anymore. But he's the person that I think is responsible more than anything for the passion that I have for high school sports. My dad, after serving in the Army in World War II, became a teacher and coach at Cambridge, Minnesota, where we lived for 12 years, and then he moved to Osseo as the high school principal at Osseo High School. And is the person that I would that I've always looked up to and thought I would try to emulate the things the way he lived. Jim Dean, I want to mention a couple of things about Jim. as you can tell from his talk, Jim was a fun coach to be around. And I think his teams grew and grew in numbers because of that. Although fun,
Okay, what's your name, sir?
For Jim meant giving it your all towards some hard task. And I originally, like Jim said, thought, well, I'm a halfback on the football team. I'm going to be a sprinter. But if you know anything about Jim's history, everybody at Osseo was a distance runner. And you had to kind of prove that you weren't a distance runner before he'd let you maybe run 200 or something. He also made track seem like an important thing to be involved in. And I think those are the things that struck me and the things that I've tried to do as a coach as well. Make kids think that this is something pretty important to be part of. I moved to Blaine in the early 70s, and whatever success we had there, I think, was mainly responsible, or mainly attributable to the fact that we had 3 coaches that worked together for a long time and became a good team.